Hello, friends. Have you ever walked into a room only to forget why you went in, or spent 5 minutes looking for your glasses just to realize they've been resting on your head the entire time? It's frustrating, even a little embarrassing, but here's the truth: you're not alone. If you're over 60, these little lapses in memory might be showing up more often. And while they might seem harmless, they can leave you feeling just a little less sharp, a little less confident, even a little disconnected. But what if I told you that the answer to sharper memory might not be in a pill or a doctor's office, but right there in your kitchen? Because believe it or not, the foods you eat each day have a powerful effect on your brain. Yes, your grocery list could hold the key to protecting and even boosting your memory. Not in theory, not in some far off future, but starting today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 natural science-backed foods that help support memory and brain function as we age. These aren't exotic or expensive. They're foods you can find in almost any grocery store, and you may already have some of them in your pantry right now. We'll talk about how they work inside your body, how to use them effectively, and why nutritionists are recommending them more than ever for people over 60. And if you stick with me until the end, I'll show you exactly how to combine these 5 memory boosting foods into one simple, delicious daily meal plan designed to nourish your brain and bring clarity back into your life. Because your memory matters, and you deserve to feel sharp, present, and in control. Not just some days, but every day. So let's get started. Why memory declines after 60. Let's take a moment to talk about something most of us experience but rarely understand: why memory starts to change after 60. It's not about intelligence. It's not about trying harder. And it's certainly not about failure. It's biology, pure and simple. As we age, certain natural shifts begin to take place in the brain. One of the most important is something called brain atrophy, a slow, gradual shrinking of certain areas of the brain, especially those involved in learning and memory. Over time, the connections between brain cells, known as synapses, can become weaker or fewer. It doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle at first, but little by little, those once sharp details start to fade. You might notice it when names take a second longer to come, or when a thought feels like it's right on the tip of your tongue, but won't quite surface. These are common signs, not of something broken, but of a brain that's simply aging. Another factor is a decline in neurotransmitters like acetylcholine and dopamine, chemicals that carry signals between brain cells. When those levels drop, communication in the brain slows down. And finally, there's oxidative stress, where harmful molecules called free radicals begin to build up, damaging healthy cells over time, including neurons. These internal shifts can quietly chip away at memory, even while the rest of your body seems to function just fine. But here's the part most people miss. This doesn't mean your memory is doomed. Far from it, because the brain is also incredibly adaptable. It can grow new connections. It can be protected. It can be nourished. And one of the most powerful tools we have to do that is food. So if you've ever felt forgetful and blamed yourself, stop. It's not your fault. It's biology. But biology can be nourished. And that brings us to a breakthrough idea. One I hope will stay with you. Your memory isn't fading. It's asking for fuel. So let's give it what it needs, starting with the first brain-boosting food on our list. Food number 1, blueberries. Meet Carol. She's 67, a retired librarian from Ohio, sharp, organized, and always the person who remembered every birthday in the family. But lately, things had started to shift. She'd walk into a room and forget why. She'd pause mid-sentence, trying to retrieve the right word. It wasn't alarming, but it was frustrating. Carol did what many of us do. She brushed it off. It's just age, she'd tell herself. But one morning, while reading an article about brain health, she stumbled on something that caught her attention. Blueberries. Simple, familiar. Sitting in the back of her freezer, forgotten like a dusty book on a shelf. The article called them brain berries. That made her curious, so she made a decision. Small, intentional, nothing drastic. Every morning, she added half a cup of blueberries to her oatmeal, sometimes frozen, sometimes fresh when they were in season. She didn't expect much, but over the next few weeks, something began to shift. Her mind felt just a little clearer. She could recall words faster. Conversations flowed more easily. Even her mood felt steadier. It wasn't a miracle, just momentum. A quiet improvement that reminded her she had more control than she thought. So what's the science behind Carol's story? Blueberries are packed with a compound called anthocyanins. These are natural plant pigments that give blueberries their deep, rich color. But they're more than just a pretty hue. Anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants, and in the brain, they play a very specific role. They help reduce inflammation, improve blood flow to the brain, and protect neurons from oxidative damage. In simpler terms, they help the brain stay cleaner, clearer, and more connected. Studies have shown that regular blueberry consumption is associated with slower cognitive decline, improved memory recall, and even better executive function in older adults. And the best part? You don't need a giant bowl to get the benefit. Just half a cup a day, mixed into yogurt, tossed into a smoothie, or eaten straight from the freezer, can make a difference. Think of blueberries as nature's tiny protectors, quietly supporting the sharpness and resilience of your brain. So the next time you're shopping or planning breakfast, remember Carol and remember this. These tiny berries act like natural brain protectors because sometimes the biggest impact comes from the smallest things. Food number 2, walnuts. Take a moment and look closely at a walnut. Really look at it, the shape, the folds, the texture. Doesn't it remind you of something? That's right, it looks just like a brain. And here's the fun part. What looks like a brain happens to feed it too. Walnuts are one of nature's most remarkable examples of form-meeting function. This simple, crunchy nut is packed with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of fat that supports brain cell structure and communication. But that's just the beginning. They're also loaded with vitamin E, an antioxidant that helps reduce oxidative stress in the brain. Think of vitamin E as a shield, protecting your memory centers from gradual wear and tear. And if that wasn't enough, walnuts contain polyphenols, plant compounds known to reduce inflammation and enhance blood flow, both of which are vital for maintaining sharp cognitive function. Now let's talk about how this plays out in everyday life. Picture this. It's mid-morning. You're starting to feel a little foggy. Breakfast is long gone, and lunch is still a few hours away. You walk into the kitchen, and instead of reaching for a cookie or processed snack, you grab a small handful of walnuts, about 7 halves. No sugar, no crash, just clean, brain-friendly energy. This was exactly what happened for Frank, age 72, a retired carpenter from New Mexico. He began replacing his daily sugary snack with a small serving of walnuts. Within 2 weeks, he noticed fewer mental dips mid-morning and more clarity during his crossword puzzles. His favorite daily ritual. It wasn't a dramatic shift, but it was noticeable, enough to make it a habit. The beauty of walnuts is that they're versatile. You can toss them into oatmeal, sprinkle them on a salad, or just eat them plain. And because they're high in good fats and fiber, they also support heart health and help keep you fuller longer, a bonus for managing energy and appetite throughout the day. So the next time you're choosing what to snack on, remember this simple visual. A walnut looks like your brain for a reason. It was designed to protect it. What looks like a brain happens to feed it too. And when you make it part of your daily rhythm, Even a small handful can help keep your thoughts clearer, your memory stronger, and your mind feeling just a little more like you. Food number 3, fatty fish. Let me introduce you to Eleanor, 70 years old, a retired school teacher from Oregon. For years, she struggled with what she called mental static. She described it as a constant low-level fog, like her thoughts were wrapped in cotton. It wasn't serious enough to scare her, but it was enough to frustrate her. She often found herself reading the same page twice, or forgetting why she'd opened the fridge. Her doctor recommended something simple, natural, and surprisingly tasty. Fatty fish, like salmon or sardines, just twice a week. So she gave it a try. Grilled salmon on Sunday night, a tuna salad sandwich midweek. Within a month, she noticed a difference. Her focus returned. Conversations flowed more easily. Her mind felt less like a maze and more like a clear path again. What changed? The answer is one powerful nutrient, DHA, short for docosahexaenoic acid, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that's essential for brain structure and performance. DHA makes up a significant portion of your brain's gray matter. Think of it as a structural fat that keeps your brain cells communicating smoothly and efficiently. According to nutrition experts, DHA is like oil for your brain's engine. Without it, things start to slow down, and communication between brain cells gets clunky. With it, thoughts fire faster, and memory stays more intact as we age. But what if you're not a fan of fish? You're not alone, and you're not out of luck. There are easy alternatives. Look for omega-3 enriched eggs, which are laid by hens fed a DHA-rich diet. You can also take algae oil supplements, which provide the same brain-benefiting DHA found in fish, but from a plant-based source. These are excellent options for those with dietary restrictions or simply a sensitive palate. Still, if you do enjoy fish, aim for 2 servings per week. Think salmon baked with olive oil and lemon, mackerel grilled with herbs, or even canned sardines on whole grain toast. Each of these gives your brain the essential fats it craves without the need for anything processed or artificial. Remember, your brain is one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body, and it needs the right fuel to keep firing on all cylinders. So, take a cue from Eleanor and ask yourself, could a couple of fish-focused meals each week bring more clarity into your life? Because when it comes to memory, focus, and cognitive sharpness, what's on your plate today could shape how you think tomorrow. DHA is like oil for your brain's engine. And sometimes the difference between fog and focus is just a forkful away. Food number 4, leafy greens. Let me ask you something simple yet powerful. What color do you see most on your plate each day? If it's mostly beige, bread, pasta, potatoes, you're not alone. But if we're serious about keeping our minds sharp after 60, it's time to start seeing more green. Leafy greens may not come with fancy packaging or buzzwords, but they offer something far more valuable: natural brain protection. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. These humble plants are rich in the nutrients your brain thrives on. Let's break it down. First, there's folate, a B vitamin essential for cognitive function. Low folate levels have been linked to confusion, forgetfulness, and even depression in older adults. Then there's lutein, a plant pigment that accumulates in the brain and supports processing speed, focus, and recall. It actually gets stored in the areas responsible for memory. And finally, vitamin K, which helps reduce brain inflammation and supports neural communication, especially important as we age. When you eat leafy greens daily, you're not just feeding your body, you're actively fueling your memory. A major study from Rush University found that adults who ate just 1 cup of leafy greens a day had significantly slower cognitive decline than those who didn't. In fact, The difference in brain age was as much as 11 years younger, simply from adding greens. Not supplements, not prescriptions, real food. And don't worry, it's easy to start. Toss a handful of spinach into your scrambled eggs, blend kale into a fruit smoothie, you won't even taste it. Sauté Swiss chard with garlic and olive oil for a flavorful side, or pile arugula on your sandwich or wrap for lunch. You don't need to change everything. You just need to add something green. Because the truth is, your brain doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. A little support every day, and leafy greens are one of the simplest, most affordable ways to do that. So the next time you're at the grocery store, look for that deep green color and ask yourself, what can I add this week to feed my mind? A green plate today, a clearer memory tomorrow. You're not just eating for today, you're eating for the years ahead. Let's make those years full of sharp thoughts, strong connections, and confident memories. And it all starts with what's on your fork. Food number 5, turmeric. Let's take a journey for a moment beyond the grocery aisle into a place where food and healing have always gone hand in hand. In India, turmeric has been used for thousands of years, not just in cooking, but in medicine, in rituals, even in storytelling. It's more than a spice. It's a symbol of vitality. And modern science is finally catching up with what ancient cultures have always known. This golden root holds power, especially when it comes to your brain. Turmeric's magic lies in a compound called curcumin, a natural anti-inflammatory that helps protect brain cells from aging-related damage. Inflammation in the brain is one of the quiet drivers of memory loss and cognitive decline. But curcumin has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, reducing that inflammation and promoting better memory, attention, and emotional balance. In fact, in cultures where turmeric is commonly consumed, like in traditional Indian diets, rates of age-related cognitive decline are significantly lower than in many Western countries. That's not coincidence. That's nutrition with intention. Take Raj, 69, who began sipping turmeric tea each evening after dinner. At first, it was just a warm ritual, something to calm the body before bed. But after a few weeks, he noticed something else. His sleep improved, his thoughts were less scattered, and his mood became noticeably more stable. It wasn't a miracle. It was steady support from a spice that's as old as memory itself. So how can you make turmeric a part of your life? One simple option is golden milk, a warm drink made by blending turmeric with milk, or a milk alternative, a pinch of cinnamon, and most importantly, a dash of black pepper. Why pepper? Because it contains piperine, a compound that helps your body absorb curcumin more effectively. Or try turmeric tea, simmered gently with ginger, honey, and lemon for a soothing, brain-friendly beverage. A small amount daily can make a big difference over time. The key isn't quantity, it's consistency. Because sometimes the most powerful changes come in quiet, golden sips. This golden spice may protect the golden years of your mind. It's ancient, it's gentle, and it's ready to support your memory one warm cup at a time. Daily brain boosting plate. Let's bring everything together now into something real. Something you can use starting tomorrow morning. A full day of memory supporting meals. You don't need to count calories or chase trends. You just need a few simple ingredients, chosen with care, working together to support the part of you that matters most, your mind. Let's start with breakfast. Begin the day with a warm bowl of oatmeal, topped with a handful of fresh or frozen blueberries and a sprinkle of chopped walnuts. The blueberries bring anthocyanins to improve memory and protect brain cells. The walnuts add omega-3s and vitamin E for mental clarity. And the oats, they offer slow-releasing energy that fuels your brain without spiking your blood sugar. Midday, it's time for lunch. Prepare a simple salmon wrap using grilled or canned salmon. rich in DHA, the brain's favorite fat. Layer it with a handful of fresh spinach inside a whole grain tortilla. The spinach delivers folate, lutein, and vitamin K, all vital for protecting memory. Add a drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon for flavor and healthy fats. Light, nourishing, and deeply effective. As the afternoon sets in, treat yourself to a mindful snack. Brew a cup of turmeric tea, golden, soothing, and calming to the nervous system. Remember to add a pinch of black pepper to help your body absorb the curcumin. Pair it with a slice of whole grain toast topped with a little avocado or hummus. It's simple, satisfying, and brain friendly. And for dinner, wind down with a bowl of lentil soup simmered with carrots, celery, onions, and a generous handful of leafy greens like kale or Swiss chard. Lentils provide fiber, plant-based protein, and iron. The greens give your brain the minerals it craves to wind down and repair. This isn't a complicated diet. It's not a short-term fix. It's a daily rhythm of eating that gently, consistently feeds the brain what it needs to stay sharp, clear, and strong. Food isn't just fuel, it's memory medicine. Let every meal you make be an act of care, because your brain deserves support, not just occasionally, but every day. Picture this. A woman in her 70s sits by the window, reading a book she once struggled to finish. But now the words come easier. A man flips through an old photo album, naming every face, every memory, with confidence and warmth. Two friends share laughter over tea, the stories flowing freely, unbroken by blank pauses or foggy thoughts. This is not a fantasy. It's what happens when you feed your brain with intention. Because memory loss doesn't have to be your new normal. And forgetfulness, it doesn't have to define the next chapter of your life. Science is showing us more clearly than ever that the foods we choose, each meal, each bite, can either cloud the mind or clarify it. You don't need extreme diets or miracle pills. You need real food, consistent habits, and a willingness to care for your brain with the same love you've given to so many others over the years. You don't have to accept forgetfulness as your new normal. You can nourish clarity, one bite at a time. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these foods do you already eat or plan to try this week? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. And if this video helped you understand your brain a little better or gave you hope for a sharper tomorrow, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. Someone who wants to stay sharp, connected, and fully present in the moments that matter most. Because when we feed the brain with care, we're not just preserving memories, we're making room for many more to come.